Shut up and sit down.
Hey, and welcome to the Freja MMA podcast, where it doesn't matter if you're a casual fan or a championship fighter. Join us in our discussion about the beautiful sport which is mixed martial arts. Hey everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Freja MMA podcast. And today we're looking at a close look of Fight Club Rush 8, which is happening March 6th. And today we're talking to one of the promoters of the event, Jörgen Hamberg, who we congratulated on being the first person to be on the Freja MMA podcast 3 times. He's always a laugh to have on, and if you listen very closely, you could get some exclusives as well. So here is the interview with Fight Club Rush promoter and JDZ Management manager, Jörgen Hamberg. Hello, Jörgen. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Everything's good?
It's fine. Yeah, everything is good, but it's been a hard few weeks with a lot of dropouts and replacements and a lot of mixing and trixing.
So Fight Club Rush 8, which is coming March 6th, a headache for some, and the inspiration for others. It must be a roller coaster booking this one.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster, and the COVID situation is making it harder, but also with working with people like early pros is a bit of a challenge because they haven't like developed to real pros. They are not really know what they want, and when the fight is closing, I think we have two scenarios. The one is when you prepare for a fight, it's easy to get caught with a cold or something because you train hard, you're cutting weight, and so on, and injuries, of course. The other thing is a mental game.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of early pros, they get panic when they are starting to close into the fights because they are like they want to flee, they want to escape this because the pressure is big on them. It's the fear of not delivering, failing, and so on, are testing their mentalities, and I think a lot of the bailouts are like, because I see it with our own fighters too. Oh, I'm cold, Jürgen, we can't go, and it's like, for me there are no such excuses,
No
because
escape.
no escape. Go
Mm.
go fetch a paper and empty your nose. Let's go, because but if you are real ill, it's of course not doable. But I like Tobias, for instance. He has like been sick, and he hasn't been in shape, but he has fought anyway when situations came up, and I want fighters to be um, so fond of the game that it doesn't matter what happened, they will fight anyway. There are a lot of fighters who are not like mentally that strong, but it's a thing of the pro life. You have to mentally be as strong as you are physically, so to say.
But as you're saying, it is a very historical event, but there's actually a historical event happening now. You're the first time, or the first person to have guested 3 times on the Freya MMA podcast. How do you feel?
3 times.
On the Freya MMA podcast.
Okay, so it's like hat trick.
Mm-hmm.
It feels amazing.
So how did this deal get about with the UFC Fight Pass? How was that? Or was you not so much involved in that? Was that more on the Ostrogonek brothers there?
No. I was involved in the initial meeting when we talked with them. We had some for a while. We had this we worked for it. This was where we wanted to go, and we been writing to them to get a proposal. We send videos of our productions and so on, and they contacted us to see the possibilities, and we made an arrangement. So I think we've been working hard with promotions and like media things, and to get our promotion better and better with small means, but I think they have recognized that we are coming and we want a lot. So this is going in the right direction, and to be first in the Nordics with UFC Fight Pass, I think it's good work for with three years of event making.
Yeah, and I was hoping to get the whole JDZ gang on this podcast, but what better spokesperson than Jörgen, shall we say?
Yeah, we work together and do different things, and we complement each other. Like Davor is like all into media, and we are not like, we try to be like specific on what we do. Me and Slatko has more with clubs, fighters, matchmaking, and making the show. We are more like taking everything else, and Davor is all about the media and that thing, how we look.
So speaking about making the event, shall I say, from the first write-up of the fight card to now, how many changes has there been?
I can't count them. Is any of the fights still on? Like we had a lot. We have injuries. We have drug dealing busts, and we like, it's happening things all the time. And then we got this COVID thing, because now we are in a situation where everyone who comes to Sweden has to have maximum 48 hours COVID tests, and they are it making the show a bit more expensive because we have to pay for it, and travel is not easy either. So, but we have Finland, we have Norway, we have Sweden. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have Iceland with us. One was injured and one was not able to have a good camp. Otherwise, we would have two Icelandic fighters on the card. So the only thing we should have been missing was the Danish people. Otherwise, we would have all of Scandinavia, who is our like goal for the show.
So obviously you can't still release the full card yet, but how many nations will there be represented at Fight Club Rush 8?
Oh, we have like Finland, Sweden, Norway. We have Italy. We might have UK. Instead, we have the MC is Welsh, so he's always representing UK. But maybe we are negotiating with a English guy now at the moment to see if we can close it. But I think that's it.
And we have Brazil as well with Felipe Lima.
Yeah, of course, Brazil, but he's here in Sweden now, and most of them we call them Swedish, but of course Felipe is Brazil all the way.
So we'll talk about the strange one as well, and that's Fabiola Pedroni. I'm sure with your long career inside this sport, there's not really been anything like this that has happened around Swedish MMA or around MMA promotions that you've kind of found. I mean, the whole drug busting it was quite a crazy time.
Yeah, it was a crazy time, but it's like if you look at like wrestlers, boxers, fighters in all categories, a lot of them are like having other side business too, and so we are like cleaning up the sport for this kind of persons, because a lot of people in the shady areas are there for laziness, and to be a fighter is not, it's everything else than being lazy. So I think the sport is heading the right way, and the real athletes are they haven't time to do this side businesses, but it happens in all branches. So I can see, I don't see any particular with it, but it's happening in Sweden, it's happening in all of the world. We just have to cope with it and make a replacement.
So as well, this is a strange time as well with the COVID situation, like you're saying. We have had events here in Sweden with Brave and Superior Challenge, for example. I'm guessing there is a whole nother headache as well coming from the government side of what can be done, what can't be done, how many people are allowed in the buildings and such like that. Is that also something that is you're rolling with and changing every day with the government's decisions?
Exactly. We were struggling long. We wanted to have like a amateur card,
Mm-hmm.
but we wasn't allowed to have it because of the regulations from the government. And then the last changes that they've done doesn't allow us either to have amateur sports. Only professional fights or professional fighters
Mm-hmm.
who like have this for their job is to compare with like Elitserien or the highest level of football. It's like the people who lives on this and get paid, they are allowed to do their work.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it for fun or like amateur, you're not allowed to practice your sport, and we follow it. So it's going to be a show with only professionals this time.
So what can we expect on March 6th at Fight Club Rush 8?
Like it looks like a crazy card. And the replacements we've done, I would say almost every one of them are like improvements.
Mm-hmm.
Knutsson got a better opponent with better record. We're going to release Soran Milic opponent. It's a guy with a much better record than the first one also.
Mm-hmm.
So the rank is like going up with the replacements, and so we have a better card, I would say, in general, and a lot of the fights are really even. I can't say who's going to win. I can only say it's going to be really good fights. Crazy energy in some of them, like Soran Milic fight with the guy he he meets. It's going to be really amazing.
So this is kind of something I find a bit interesting as well. We did have spoke a bit about fight psychology and things like that, but a promoter psychology as well. I mean, you are a fighter manager also, but there isn't
Yeah.
usually fighter managers that want to see very competitive matchups for their fighters. They more want to see, you know, ones where they know or they definitely feel like their fighter can win. So it's interesting that you see your promotion and see how competitive these fights are going to be and how close they're going to be. It's like the fight fan takes over the promoter, shall I say.
Yeah, we try to be like professionals for the show. So when we putting on our show, we do it for the show's best interest.
Mm-hmm.
We have to put aside that we are managers. We have to put aside the club situation or everything, because we want to do a as good show as we possibly can. And when we do like a manager, I would probably not do this fight for Zoran because it's a really tough opponent.
Mm-hmm.
But for to the end of it, I don't believe in easy fights and making it to the end. You have to struggle. You have to go a rough path to finally go into the, for example, UFC. You have to be prepared. You can't have these cans and journeymans 6, 7, 8 fights and then go in and deliver something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in it because they have to earn the way there. So we don't do these easy fights. The audience for Fight Club Rush don't want it. We don't want it as a promoters, and we don't want it as managers. So it's easy. We throw them in deep water.
That's great to hear. I guess as well, it's a belief system in your fighters as well, and the fighters that you have on the card that they will put on a great show.
Yeah, and the result is like secondary. I want a great show because like we take the best opponent possible in this area, and we challenge our fighters. And people from the side should not be able to say like, oh, he's going to win that easy. That's like taking the money to the bank and so on. We don't like it. We want upsets. We want like really fair fighting, because everyone should know if you're on the FCR, it's going to be like it's going to be tough but fair.
Yeah, so the quality is up there with definitely great fighters, like you're saying. Oh yeah, that's completely understandable. I mean, like you said, you are up there with the Cage Warriors and the UFC kind of thing of quality of competition.
Exactly. You see, they're like why they are succeeding is because they are like really doing elite shows. You have to look at the best to like do a good show. So we are looking at the if you're going to do a football team, you have to look at Barcelona. You can't look at the local Swedish team somewhere doing okay. You have to look at the best and try to be as good as you can.
So, as you said, a majority of the part of it is going to be on Fight Pass, but there also will be an undercard. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that's a bit of a shame, because UFC told us that they wanted 7 fights. We said we have 10, and we want all of UFC Fight Pass, and then they said no, because our like statistics says that it has to be maximum 3 hours. That's why we only allow 7 fights on our partners at UFC Fight Pass. And there was a debacle for us, because we had 10 fights, so we have to put some down on the show on YouTube. And the good thing with that is these fights on the undercard are like, we're going to show them completely. These fighters are going to get a lot of viewers, because they're going to be free, and it's going to be like easy to get them. UFC Fight Pass closes it down, so the main card is going to be like through their channels, of course. But our YouTube channel is for free, and everyone can look it. So if you're on the undercard, it's going to be a lot of views for everyone, and you can like get good promotions from it. But we'll see now, because we have bailouts all the way, and maybe we end up with only 7 fights then.
Yeah, that's the rocky road of being a MMA promoter, I guess.
Yeah, and to like tell you how it's our promotion. So what we did was like take our own fighters, like Alexander Lindgren and Soran Milic. We put them on the undercard, because it was like our children has to take more than like upsetting the other fighters, the other like um, we took ours to put them down first, because it was easier to like discuss with them than other teams.
Yep.
But we'll see. Like I said, with people jumping and not be able to show, so maybe we can put some of them up.
Yeah, you never know. As I said, it's always moving. I guess there's always moving parts when coming up for an event, even on the day of the event.
Exactly. So until the 6th of March, we don't know who's going to be still left, because it's the last week. A lot of weight cut and crazy sparring. People are not like slowing down. When you're in the UFC, I would say that you spar really easy the last 2 weeks, because it's too much money to lose on a ridiculous injury. But in these ranks, people go hard all the way to the fights. So we can probably expect more bailouts.
So when the event and um, the production got announced that it's going to be with the UFC Fight Pass, I'm sure that your phone was ringing a lot, and both Zlatko and Davo's phone was ringing a lot with fighters that will definitely jump onto the event, shall I say. But then now, closer to the event that is coming, it is becoming a little bit harder to get these replacements. Is it like that?
It's been a lot easier to make this card. Of course, people are very interested in showing themselves for Sean Shelby and these guys in the other end who's going to watch the fights. What we wanted was to build that platform against UFC in the end, and people are more eager to fight at our show now. We can get bigger names, and we can get like easier to get them, and even replacements has been easier to get. But now it's a week left. It's Corona, and people are not in shape because they know there are few shows that fights that fights are going on, and a lot of the fighters are not in the best shape, I can tell you.
So have you planned your calendar year just for information of if any fighters are watching this, when to be in shape for?
Yeah, we're going to do 3 shows this year. We're going to do this one. We have a plan to do the next one in the end of August, in the beginning of September, and then we're going to do like a show in the end of the year, like November or something, because I know that Superior Challenge is like doing the first week in December, and we don't want to like be in the way for them, and like there are enough room for us both, so we can like pick a date that suits both us and Superior Challenge.
That sounds great. And in the planning of these events, have you been planning on having audiences, or has it been very unsure?
It's unsure, of course. We hope for having audience in September already. I think the vaccination's going to make go in 6 months now, and people are going to like come to safer ground, and the government will also react to it. When people are vaccinated, it's going to be more or less like normal. So I hope we can have an audience.
Just to see how your mind is working, and also if there's a little bit of leaks there, it would be kind of fun. But tell us the fight card off of your head.
Oh, the main event is Lima and Flores. We haven't really set the co-main event yet because it was supposed to be Ali Taliban and Renato, but now we don't have them to do it. So during how the card develops and where we see the most energy, we're going to do a co-main event. But I can release it like for you now. Exclusively, we're going to put on a guy for Soran Milic. He is called the Human Terrier, and you know Soran is also a bit of a terrier. So I think it's going to be 2 small but very angry guys against each other, and it's going to be like what I've seen about this guy is he's really aggressive and go forward, and Soran also. So it has to be like two strong guys.
The ultimate showdown.
Standing in the middle and banging. So I think I have really high expectations of that fight. Then we have Knutsson Fusini fight. We have Selim Subarayev, who like his opponent hurt his foot, or if it was the knee. So we are looking for a replacement for him. We have Abdurrahman Nasrudinov against Binson Lee. We have Lindgren, Alexander Lindgren versus Christian Stigenberg. Let's see what more. We have like Stromanis from Örebro against Geir Kåre Komsle Nyland from Norway, and they are. That's a fight I'm really looking forward to. Geir Kåre, I saw him at the European Championships in Birmingham 2016. He has a lot of injuries, but he's a great fighter. Really fun to look at. He has won an oath as a pro. And Stromanis is a really strong fighter from Örebro, and I think it's going to be a great fight there. what else do we got? We got. Am I remember correctly? We have. Eladio Bravo is having a fight also. I don't think we have released that fight either. His opponent. So Eladio Bravo is meeting a guy from the southern part of Sweden. I think I shouldn't say too much. I already released one of the fights, and that is Soren's. So we're gonna have. I think we have 9 for now.
Oh, that sounds good. I mean, especially for the drop-offs, like you're saying.
Yeah, we have to, like, it was a puzzle to get people in and out, and regulations to get them here, flights. Oh, it's been a mess. But you feel alive.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice to stand there the 6th and have all these fights. The main thing was to make 7 pro fights for the UFC Fight Pass, and we're going to make it. I'm sure of it. Even if we had a bad last week, I think we have 9 for. Oh, I forgot one fight. That is definitely not released. We have a heavyweight fight.
Oh wow! Okay.
Coming up. So it's going to be one of the guys who was in the national team as an amateur is going pro, and is going against a guy fighting for Westeros Fight Club. So it's going to be like fun, and they are doing their debut, both of them.
Okay, so there you go. There's news incoming soon.
Yeah, there are news incoming. So we have never arranged a heavyweight fight in Fight Club Rush, but this is going to be the first.
Yeah, I spoke a lot to the fighters that are going to be on your card, like Zoran, Ali Taleb, and also Josephine, who I've just done a podcast with as well. And all of them sound like they're biting to the bit to get into that cage and fight, especially Zoran, because he has been off for such a long time. Also, when speaking to Ali Taleb, because there was 2 fights in that week that dropped off, I asked him, how much can you eat, and can you get to the weight of Zelim and maybe save that fight as well? So he laughed quite a bit.
He's like really good shape, Ali, and I feel for him. He has his luck hasn't been there, and he's like so strong and so determined, and I really looked forward to seeing him again. But we work as his manager, so we're gonna get him another fight. Maybe we don't get a replacement here, but we have another fight planned I think in August for him. So he's gonna fight soon anyway.
That sounds great. Okay, now I want you to put on your most aggressive coach voice and tell everyone why they should order UFC Fight Pass and why they should watch this event.
Of course, you have to buy the UFC Fight Pass, because next Saturday is not going to be nothing unless you're looking at it, because that's where the action is, and it's so packed with Swedish talent. So if you're into some martial arts, you can't miss it. That was not aggressive, but I don't think anyone who's attending our card, attending a show, and who they meet, it's going to be like so tense. It's going to be so close, and it's going to be really good fights. I can't say one of them is going to be boring. We don't work that way. We don't want boring fighters. We try to take them with most energy, and who gets in there to do their work, who likes their job and want to do a great show, because part it's a sport, yes, and part of it is a show, and fighters can do the sport without being showman, but we want them to be both, and fighters who are showmen and good fighters of the sports, they are always welcome.
How excited are you to finally get fans back into the events for when it can happen?
It's like bittersweet, because it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a crescendo the 6th of March, and then it's going to be like a cool down for a week or two with videos and a lot of work, getting people home, paying salaries, and make everyone like coming home safe and sound. So it's going to be like, and after that I have to pack the sack and go for Cage Warriors. So being a coach and a manager and being a promoter as well, it's a bit to cope with.
You have a lot of balls in the air right now.
Yeah, but it's fun. I love it because I don't want lazy days. I want things to happen. And now, like from March, it's going to be like a lot.
Mm-hmm. But it sounds exciting at least. I'm just waiting for a day where we can go see a Fight Club Rush event live as fans, and I'm looking forward to the merch. I'm looking forward to the crowd roaring for these competitive fights.
Exactly, and we hope it's going to be like in September then. I hope things are back to normal because MMA is best live, of course.
Mm-hmm.
To hear, to like almost smell the fights. It's great, good.
All right, there you go, everyone. March 6th, UFC Fight Pass, Fight Club Rush 8. Make sure to get it. Make sure to tune in. Gotta be great fights. We can both promise you that.
Of course.
Jörgen, thank you for your time, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.